So the first step to creating your whiteboard animation is to create your script or your narration. And I have used ChatGPT to create a script, and I'm going to be showing you how I did it, right? So if you don't want to use ChatGPT, you already have the script in your head, you can just write it out so that you have a better idea or better clarity on how the script or how the scenes are going to be playing out, right? Because it's more like telling a story, right? So let me show you how I went about prompting ChatGPT to create a script for me. So I assumed that I wanted to create a whiteboard animation video around the subject of procrastination. I want to create a whiteboard animation video using a short article on procrastination. I would want you to create a script for me, keep it short, and let it talk about why people procrastinate, the disadvantages, and how to stop procrastinating. So ChatGPT went on to give me the script, and I did ask it to keep it really short so that we're not going to be boring people, with the video. After it's created the narration for me or the script for me, then I went back and said, okay, I would want to create the graphics for the animation using an AI image generator before converting them into animated whiteboard scenes. Can you generate image prompts for all the scenes? Because we're going to be generating the images first, the images that we're going to be animating. We will be generating them first, and we will be using an AI image generator inside of Canva for free, right? So this tool that we're going to be using, we want ChatGPT to create the prompt, because remember that AI tools is all about your ability to prompt them. So we want ChatGPT to create the prompt that we can use for this image generator. So ChatGPT went on to create the prompt for me in alignment with the scripts or the narration that it has provided initially. But then another thing is that I had to now come down here to ask ChatGPT to do something else for me, because the prompts it generated for me are quite complex, and I realized that this tool that we're going to be using inside of Canva is not as sophisticated, and won't be able to generate all of those details that ChatGPT has actually provided in the prompt. So I had to come back and tell ChatGPT the image generator tool I am about using isn't sophisticated enough to create these descriptions you have added in the prompt. Especially, it is not good with creating images with text. Can you just keep the prompts really simple and basic while still maintaining the ideas that we're trying to portray? And ChatGPT went to work, and it's created and made the prompts really, really simple. What I'm going to do next is we're going to go inside of Canva, and then if you don't already have a Canva account, of course, creating a Canva account is as simple as ABC. And of course, Canva has both the pro version and the free version. Either of them can actually do for this whiteboard animation that you want to do. But of course, if you can afford to get the pro version, you can go on to do that. Why not? For me, I'm actually using the pro version. It is 2,800 naira, and it is not a lot. And trust me, using the pro version of Canva really gives you access to a lot of design tools that really makes everything flexible and all. So once inside of Canva, we're going to be creating a new design, and it's going to be a custom design. So I'm going to click on create a design, and then I'm going to go to custom size, right? So we're going to be creating a custom size design of 920 by 1080 pixels. All right. So once we've gotten our sizing correctly, so remember that it's going to be in pixels. Anything short of pixels is going to be giving you something else, right? So click on create new design, and then it's going to be taking us to the canvas or the pages that we're going to be doing our design inside of. So the next thing we're going to be doing once here is to come to this side panel here, scroll down and go to apps. And then in the search bar, search for Magic Media. All right. So that's the AI image generator tool that we're going to be using. All right. So click on this first one that says Magic Media. And then this is the tool, right? So we're going to be clicking on graphics. So we have images, we have graphics, and we have videos, meaning that this tool can actually generate any of these type of images for you. But what we want to do is to use the graphic style. All right. Then if you look beneath, you would see that we actually have a limited number of credits, right? So this tool actually gives you 5 credits per time. All right. So my next refresh is going to be on the 4th of April. So I'm going to be able to get up to 500 credits renewed by the 4th of or by the 1st of April. All right. So what I'm going to do next is I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll copy the scenes, right? And I'll copy the prompt so that I can create the images for each of the scenes, right? So I'll come here and I'll paste it in. And then before I go on to generate graphics, I'll click on styles, and then you're going to see that we have different styles for this graphics, but I'm going to select hand drawn. Okay. Then I'll go to generate graphics. So I'll click on generate graphics, and then let's wait for it to generate for us. So it's going to take a while generating the images. All right, so it has generated 4 different graphic images for us now. And we can now go on to select which is most suitable for what we want to achieve, right? So if you read through the script, you'll see that this first part is talking about how young people procrastinate, scrolling through their phones, and then the time is ticking and they are forgetting that they are supposed to do important or major tasks, right? So you're going to look at the images and decide which of these is most suitable for what you want to achieve, right? So let's say I want to use this first one right here. I'll just click on it and then it's going to be added to our first page. Okay. Another thing you can do is to generate again. So if the images you generate at first is not okay for you, you can actually click on generate again, and you can go on to generate better images for you, or images that better suits what you're trying to achieve. I'm just going to pick any of this and we'll go on ahead. So I'm going to select this. The elements here are a bit few. All right. What I can do is to add another image, all right, from the ones it has generated for me, or I can even go back to elements on Canva and add other elements that are also still consistent with what we are trying to say in that scene. All right. Another thing you can also do is, if you like a particular image, right, out of the 4 that has been generated, if you like a particular image, you can click on the 3 dotted line right here and click on generate more like this. So it's going to be generating more like this image, more images that look like this one. All right. So when I say that you can add more elements inside of this page, what you simply need to do is to scroll up here and go to elements, and you can go back and read your script and see which other elements can actually be added to this page, and it will still make sense. So let's say, for instance, we want to add something like a curtain, because this person is actually inside of your house. We can add something like a curtain so that it looks like a proper house, right? So I can come here and say curtains. All right. And then we can click on graphics. So you can look at the different options here. We can pick this one because this one is to one side. So this one is to one side. So we can actually expand it like this. Then another thing you can equally do is to add a write-up. All right. So if you add a write-up, the scene is going to be longer, right? So I can say something like, so I can even decide to copy the particular text or the particular narration for that particular scene. So let's say, for instance, the narration for this scene is, I'm going to go back to ChatGPT and I'll go to the scene 1. So scene 1 says, ever found yourself scrolling through social media, binge watching shows, or doing anything but the task at hand? That's procrastination at work. So this is quite long, but I can actually shorten it to say something like struggling with procrastination, right? So it makes more sense, so that people would know that, okay, this is what you're actually trying to say. Even without doing that, of course, the voice or the voiceover is already going to be projecting that, but I'm just trying to say all of this so that you can get a scene that is longer, all right, and that is in sync with the voiceover. So we'll go on to click on add page, and we're going to be adding the second scene, right? So we're going to go on back to our apps and back to Magic Media. All right. So I'm going to click on go back, and then let's go back to ChatGPT and copy the second prompt for the second scene. So after creating this second prompt, I'm going to go on to do every other thing behind the scene, and then we'll come back and continue with the next step so that we won't make the video too long. All right. So don't forget to select the style as hand drawn and then generate your graphics. Now, this tool, just like I was saying before, is not sophisticated, right? So this images it generated for me is not it at all. So one of the things I can actually do is to go back to elements, right? I can use Canva's inbuilt elements. So I found something inside of Canva's elements by, entering some, some prompts and some, keywords. And I think I love this. So this actually represents better the scene that I'm trying to, project here. So, getting the right images is all about knowing what you really want, the story you're really, looking to tell. So if that image generator that I've recommended for you is not giving you what you want, you can actually use Canva's inbuilt elements tool. So now I'm going to go on to generate all the scenes, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the next step to take. So now I have finished creating all the images for all the scenes. One of the things you would notice with using this image generator and using Canva's inbuilt elements is that while the other image generator images, or while the other image generator creates hand-drawn, images, Canva's elements tool gives you the images it gives you is not hand-drawn, right? But then so long as the message that you're trying to pass across is conveyed, that is the most important thing. Next I want to do is to download the images, right? So we'll come to share and then go to download. We're going to be downloading them as a PNG file. All right. So we are downloading all of the images, and I'm going to click on download, right? So it's going to be downloading as a zip file. So I'm going to go on to unzip the files inside of my device, right? So depending on the device you're using, depending on the type of laptop you're using, you would be able to extract your images if they downloaded as a zip file, just like mine did. So I'm going to just highlight everything here, and I'll go to extract, and I'm going to extract it to my downloads, and I'll click on OK. All right. So the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to go back to Canva home, and we're going to go on to create a new design again. And this time around, we're going to be using videos, right? So we're going to be creating a video design, and I'm going to click on, it's going to be dependent on the platform you want to actually use this video on. So let's say, for instance, that this is a YouTube video, like maybe I'm doing a Faceless YouTube channel, and I want to use this on, YouTube, or I'm creating this for a YouTube ad, right? So if you're going to be doing this for Instagram or, Facebook, you're going to have to select the type of video dimension that you want to use, right? So I'm going to click on YouTube video landscape, and the size is 1920 by 1080. So I'm going to click on any of these, and then just like I did before, I'm going to go to the apps tool, and I'll search for the this app called Speed Painter. All right, so I'm going to go to this side element here. I'll come to apps, and here I'm going to search for Speed Painter. So there are two types of Speed Painter tool. We have Speed Paint and Speed Painter. So the one we are using is this Speed Painter. So that's the one that is actually free. All right, it's not this one. This other one here, it might actually require you to make some payments or enter your card details and all that, but this one is totally free. So I'm going to click on it. So Speed Painter is going to ask us to choose file. So I'm going to click on choose file, and I'll start uploading the images one after the other. So we have the first image here, and you're going to be seeing the different settings. We have sketch duration, 3 seconds, color fill duration. So just leave all of this. So in case you want to also maybe increase or decrease the sketch duration, you know how that the hand is drawing the image and all. So if you want to increase the sketch duration to maybe 1 second, or depending on the speed you actually want it to attain. All right, so I'm going to leave it at this 3 seconds. I'm going to click on generate, and then it's going to start generating our image for us, right? So once we have done this first part, I'm going to go behind the scene, and I'm going to upload all my images, and then we'll come back and I'll show you the next step to take. So it has created the animated video. So so I'm going to click to add it to my design. All right, so once it gets added to my page, the next thing I'm going to do is to click on this three dotted line here, and I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to click on set video as background. So this is so that we have it filled on the entire page, right? So this is the simple process I'll go through to create my animation. So I finished adding all the things, and I just remember that I didn't show you guys how to, go back and add the next scene, on Speed Painter. So all you need to do is, after adding the first image and you have added it to your design, just click on go back and then delete the initial image, delete it, and then go back to choose file, and then you'll be able to choose the next file for the next scene. So now that we've gotten all the images animated, the next thing we want to do is to get our voiceover. That's the voice or the narration that is going to be over this video, right? Now, you can either use your own voice, so you can record your voice, right? Or you can use an AI voice generator. So in this case, we're going to be using an AI voice generator called 11 Labs, right? So go to Google and type 11 Labs, and then you're going to be seeing it here. So just come to, it is typed not 11 as in digits, but 11 as in, words. So type in 11 Labs and click on it, and you can also type in 11labs.io, right? So it's going to be bringing you here, and then it's going to be asking you to sign up or get started for free. So you can click on get started for free. So you just go through the process of getting your account, which is actually very simple. You can even use your Google or Gmail account, and everything is easy. So this is my account. So I'm going to go on to click on text to speech. So I'll click on text to speech, and then it's going to bring us here to where we can enter our narration. The narration that ChatGPT generated for us when it's created as scripts. That's what we're going to be entering here. All right. 11 Labs also gives you some credits that you can use. So what I'm simply going to do is I'm going to erase this text I've entered here, and I'm going to go back to ChatGPT, and I'm going to go to the scripts that ChatGPT generated for us, and I'm going to copy the narration for each of the scenes. So I'm going to start copying them one after the other. So after pasting your narration inside of 11 Labs, the next thing you want to do is to look at the settings to this side of the panel, to this side of the screen, and you can select the voice that you want to use in your narration or in your voiceover. So let's just say we want to use Rachel. So I'm just going to click on generate speech, and it's going to generate the speech for us.
That's procrastination at work. Why do we procrastinate? Sometimes.
All right, so after it's finished generating and you've listened to it and it's appealing to you, you can now go on to click on the download icon right here, and the voice will be downloaded, right? It gets downloaded to your device, and now we're going to now go on to import it to Canva, where we're now going to try to sync it with our videos. So we have the voice downloaded to our device now. So I'm going to go on to Canva, and I'll come to uploads, and I'm going to click on upload files, and then go on to upload the audio sound from 11 Labs. So after it's finished downloading, you can now click and drag it to the timeline here, ensuring that it's starting from the beginning of your video.
That's procrastination.